Hi Year 9, it's Ms Wilson here, and I'm going to talk to you about the GCSE in Religious Studies. So there are two papers that we cover. The first one is on religion and ethics through Christianity, and it's worth 50% of your overall grade out of a total of 102 marks. And then your second paper will be on religion, peace and conflict through Islam, again worth 50% and a total of 102 marks. Now, I started to think about why you might choose to study GCSE RE, and I thought, well, there's no point asking me because, of course, I'm going to big up the subject. It's a subject that I love. It's a subject that I teach. So instead, I asked some of the current Year 10s and 11s who study GCSE RE what their thoughts were and why they chose to study the subject. So one student said that taking GCSE RE gives you more information on other religions, so you're able to understand them better. It's also a lesson where you can widen your view on many things. Another student said, we learn about a variety of diverse beliefs within society, and it gives you a wider insight and understanding of other cultures. The course is really fascinating, and ultimately it helps you understand the perspective of other faiths in relation to world events. A third student said, taking GCSE RE allows you to learn about the other cultures and diversity. It's a great subject to consider taking because you'll be able to leave school with an understanding of the ways that other people live. And a final student said, you should study GCSE RE because it gives you valuable insights into diverse beliefs and opinions held by other people. Okay, so just a little bit of an understanding for you there that actually studying the GCSE RE isn't just about studying religion, it's about studying people. It's about studying the society that we live in and the different thoughts and opinions and ideas that make our society work. Now, we cover loads of topics in the course. Okay, within the Muslim paper, there are 4 topics that we cover, and within the Christian paper, there are 4 topics that we cover as well. And within these topics, we cover kind of 8 small little units on loads of different things. So, for example, in Islam, we cover Muslim beliefs, but we also look at what the nature of Allah is, Allah meaning God. We look at holy books, we look at angels, we look at life after death. We then go on to crime and punishment, where we look at things like justice and crime. What does punishment actually mean? What are the aims of punishment? How should we treat criminals? What about the death penalty? Then we go to what it kind of means to be a Muslim and how Muslims live their life. So we look at the 5 pillars. So you've got Shahada, Salah, Psalm, Zakah, Hajj, which are the 5 pillars of Islam. We also look at celebrations and festivals. And then finally, we come on to peace and conflict, where we look at actually what does peace mean and what does conflict mean? Can we ever go to war? What about weapons of mass destruction? Are there any issues that actually surround conflict? Okay, so some really interesting topics that we cover. Same with the Christianity. We look at Christian beliefs, so we cover the creation story, looking at both religious and non-religious perspectives. We look at Jesus and his kind of final days. And his life. We look at life after death. We look at problems of evil and suffering. We then go on to marriage and family. So we look at marriage and family planning, Christian and non-religious perspectives on divorce and remarriage. We look at equality, gender prejudice. Then the same within the Islam paper, we look at living the Christian life. So how do Christians put their beliefs into practice? So we look at worship, we look at prayer, going on pilgrimage, celebrations. We get to look at Easter, Christmas. And then finally, our last unit will be on matters of life and death, where we look at how did the world come to be? And we look at that from religious and non-religious perspectives again. We look at why is life important? We look at abortion, life after death, euthanasia. Okay, so some really interesting topics that we can bring in our own opinions into. Now, the structure of the exam is really straightforward. Both papers are exactly the same, and there are 4 questions. Okay, there's an A, a B, a C, and a D question. An A question is worth 3 marks, a B question is worth 4 marks, C question is worth 5 marks, and a D question is either worth 12 or 15 marks. If it's worth 15 marks, you get 3 marks for spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Now, there will only be 2 15-mark questions in the entire paper, and that is the only time that you will be assessed on your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So if you're a bit worried about those things, this is a really nice paper, or actually it's what you're writing that's important, not how you're writing it. Now, you will have that A, B, C, D question 4 times over. So in the Muslim belief section, you'll have an A, B, C, and D. In crime and punishment, you'll have an A, B, C, and D. In living the Muslim life, A, B, C, and D. And peace and conflict, A, B, C, and D. So if you're a student that worries when opening exam paper, what's the first question you're going to ask me? How many marks is it going to be? This paper removes all of that. is very straightforward, 4 times 4 questions, the same within the Christianity paper. So if we can ace what the A, B, C and D questions are asking for, we're going to fly. Now the exam question structure is really straightforward as well. So an A question will always start with either outline 3 or state 3, and all you need to do is provide 3 short facts about something. So if the question was outline 3 Christian views on creation, you could say one Christian view on creation is that God created the world. A second Christian view on creation is that the world was created in 6 days. And a third Christian view on creation is that on the first day, God created light. Okay, really straightforward, no explanation needed. A B question either starts with explain to or describe to. Now in this question, you need to give 2 points and explain them. So again, if the question was explain 2 Christian perspectives on creation, you can give 2 points on creation and you can explain them in more detail. Your C question is very similar to your B question. It starts with explain to or describe to, but it also wants you to include a source of wisdom and authority, a SWR. And this is a Bible or a Quran teaching. And then you need to make a link back to the question. So you're just basically showing off a little bit, showing that you know a little bit more information about the question, the topic in the question. And then your D question is the one where you get the most marks. And this always gives you a statement of opinion that you're asked to evaluate. So it might say, all Christians believe the world was created in 6 days. Now you get the opportunity to argue for and against that argument. You give points and explanations saying, yes, some people do believe that the world was created in 6 days. And no, actually other people don't believe that, and this is why. You only need to include one source of wisdom and authority. And as you go through, you need to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of your arguments before you come to a justified conclusion. So you get to have a little bit of a debate in a D question. Now, when we kind of think about what subjects does RE complement? Now, remember before Christmas, we had an interfaith week. In the majority of your subjects at school, there was some link with RE. You might have been making mandalas in art, or you might have been talking about creation stories in science, or you might have been looking at the Sagrada Familia in DT. Loads and loads of opportunities to make links with RE, which pretty much shows you that all of the subjects you study can complement RE, and RE can complement all of those. It's a really lovely one to study if you're really not very sure where you want to go in your future. And actually it covers all bases. It's learning about people. We live in a society full of people, and knowing and understanding them is really, really beneficial. Now, GCSE RE can lead to any career that you kind of would like to do, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a police officer, whether it's a chef, whatever kind of you are focusing your life on, RE is a really good one to lead to that. So you've got 3 people on the screen in front of you who all studied GCSE RE. Now, Charmaine is still a student, but she said, through religious studies, I learned to build and interrogate arguments and how to question and evaluate narratives. You've got Lily, who's a recipe developer and chef. She said, RE helps me learn to question things. It makes you think about what's right for you, and it helps give you a voice. Then you've got Ollie, who's a sports reporter. He said, studying RE helps me understand how religious beliefs affect different countries. A few more for you. This is Aaron, he's a junior doctor. He said, understanding people's faiths and lifestyles is so important for my job as a junior doctor. Okay, understanding people. Scully is a radio DJ. He said RE is the #1 subject that helps you understand people. And then you've got Mo, who's a firefighter. He says studying RE gave me a good understanding of different religions and cultures, making me a better firefighter. So 6 really diverse careers there who all study GCSE RE. Now, finally, just to kind of end this little presentation for you, obviously I talk super fast, and this is a very short video. So if you've got any other questions about GCSE RE or any questions about anything, please email me. My email address is on the screen in front of you. Please take a note of it if you've got any other questions. It was lovely to chat with you. Take care.